Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today. If you want to call in, 323-870-3857. All right, guys, let's get started with it. Now, this might not be the fight of the weekend, but I think it might have been the card of the weekend because it was the last one. Showtime. Last card out of 30 some odd years, man. 30 some odd years. Last card ever. Beeb, both you and I don't think you and I were very excited about the card. I thought it was, at least I'll tell you what, I wasn't excited about the card. Chris Colbert on the card, Morrell on the card. And then, you have Robert Guerrero and Andre Berto, whose careers finished years ago, right? And I have no idea why they were in there last night. I have zero idea, or whatever. Let's get started with the David Morrell, Sena Agbeko for the WBA super middleweight title, the regular. Or what is this, the regular, interim, or what was this?
Right, it's the regular. It's the regular.
Is there an irregular?
I think I consider the regular title irregular.
I do too. I think the regular title, I agree with you. I think that regular title.
Want to get technical about it, sure.
There you go. Not much really to talk about here on this one. David Morrell wins by a second round TKO. He really opened up on him in that second round. He caught him. And I mean, Agbeko was out of his league here. He came in and just, I thought he won the first round. I thought he, obviously he was winning the second round. He just dominated this kid, man. And it's kind of what we expected. It was a showcase fight for him. But to his credit, to Morrell's credit, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went out there, he dominated the fight, he finished it, and he looked good doing it. He did. He looked great. After the fight, he called out David Benavidez. Now, Beeb, they offered him that fight. That fight was in talks before. Then it fell apart.
That's what they say. That's the rumor. I don't know.
That was the rumor. Now, whether it was or wasn't, I don't know. That was the rumor going around the campfire, is that fight fell through. I like Morrell. I don't think he beats David Benavidez.
I don't think so either. Some do, but not me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a little bit, he's a little too inexperienced, I think, to fight a guy like Benavidez who knows all the tricks. He knows all the tricks of the trade. But Philly Drew says Benavidez is ducking Morrell. I mean, listen, let's face it, though. Let's face it. David Morrell is a lot of risk and not a lot of reward either. So if I'm David Benavidez, I'm looking at Canelo, I'm looking at maybe Bivol, I'm looking at somebody like that, because you're not going to get any money for fighting David Morrell. You're just not. He's not a name. He's really not. I mean, in the casual realm, which is what sells pay-per-views, he's not a name. He's not known.
Yeah. Still an interesting fight, though. From a fan's perspective, I would really like to see that fight.
I would too. I would love it, man. I think that's a good fight. But I do think Benavidez wins that fight, and I think he wins it fairly handily. But that's just me. What was your take on Morrell in this fight, Beeb?
It's hard to really have
it's 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's hard to really analyze this fight because I expected this. I had him in my parlay to win by knockout. I probably should have had him to win him within the first 2 rounds. I probably would have got more money. But I wasn't, with all due respect, I wasn't expecting much out of Agbeko. I thought that he would get overwhelmed in this fight, and there's really not much to say. I mean, this was just so one-sided, and it was such a predictable outcome that I really have no words for it, unfortunately.
I mean, we're watching it and we're like, we knew the outcome before the fight took place, and he's not beating this guy. It's, but again, like I said, to Morrell's credit, he went out there, He performed. He did exactly what he's supposed to do, and he did it impressively. And I think you got to give him props for that. I do.
Sure. And to your point, when you want the big fights and the big fights aren't there for you, and then you have to settle for fights, with all due respect, like Ekbeko, it's very easy to get complacent. It's very easy to have a letdown. And he stayed the course. He knows that all of these fights are important if he wants to get that one big fight. So this is part of a process. I'm sure he realizes, and he stayed the course.
And here, I mean, again,
and he's staying busy as well too. That's another good thing.
You know, we talked about this, and again, both these guys, PBC guys, right?
Yes.
Benavidez is a PBC, David Morrell, PBC.
Correct.
And we can't get him in the ring.
Yeah. Well,
help me out with this.
Here's the thing, man. I'm hoping Benavidez gets Canelo next. I'm suspecting that may be the case, because I don't see how a Munguia fight's gonna be possible. I don't see how they could do a Jermall Charlo fight right now after just that one fight with Jose Benavidez. I just don't see that as
I thought he looked good, man. I thought Charlo looked good. I didn't think he looked Canelo good, but I thought he looked good.
Nothing in that fight indicated to me that he's quite yet ready for Canelo. But you know, it is what it is. So
I mean, think about it though. Like, who's next? I mean, you know, and you brought up a really good point with the Canelo thing. I mean, who's next for Canelo?
Yeah,
if not Benavidez, then who?
And if Munguia's fighting January 27th, he's going to be in a tough fight. I think he's going to lose that fight. You know, and a couple people agree with me.
Who's he fighting again?
John Ryder. You know, so win, lose, or draw, he's going to be in there with a tough guy. You know, this is the same Munguia that squeaked by against Derevyanchenko. I had that fight even in rounds. If he doesn't score the knockdown, he doesn't win on my card. And
if John Ryder beats that guy, yeah, come on, man. No, I think Munguia beats him.
Did you see him against a 40-year-old Derevyanchenko?
I did. I mean,
you don't think John Ryder at this stage is better than Derevyanchenko?
No.
Really?
It's not even a fact. It's
really?
It's not a fact that he's not better than Derevyanchenko. Sure, he's better than Derevyanchenko, okay? But it's different styles. It's just different styles.
They're both good inside fighters. And then
Derevyanchenko gave him problems. I think Munguia's power. I think Munguia's got underrated power. I think we look at Munguia and we say, we watch some of his fights and he's so beatable, but he does have power, and he's got fight-changing power. You know, and I think that will be the decisive factor.
We'll see.
But that's just me.
I'm going to go with Ryder on that one. I think he's
going
to get the upset.
I'll tell you this: I'm not married to that idea. I'm not married to that idea at all.
And the odds are razor close. This is almost a pick 'em fight. The odds makers have it.
I'm not, and I tell you, I'm not big on Munguia, so I'm rooting for John Ryder to upset this guy. You know, yeah. I'm rooting for him, but I have a feeling that, you know, he's not. I have a feeling he's going to get by John Ryder.
Okay,
but I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, man.
I want Munguia to be taken off the chessboard so we get close, so we can get closer to that Benavidez fight.
Right? Yeah, I want him off that chessboard too. I want him up for a long time. Yeah, for sure.
But again, it would still be a really quick turnaround. That he probably.
But you know, Munguia's with Golden Boy.
Yeah,
and you're right. It's a quick turnaround from February, because that's, you know, late January, February.
Yeah, you're essentially at the end of January, pretty much close to the beginning of February, and then you're gonna go February to March to April to May. It's like a 3-month turnaround.
Yeah, and you know, not to mention pressers and everything like that. You know, that everything that goes along with the Canelo fight.
Yeah,
you know,
like I said, everyone's like, oh well, Benavidez will just be the third fight. He'll be the crescendo at the end, and I'm like, why? Why not just do it now? Like I'm tired of waiting for it.
And it's not like Canelo. It's not like Benavidez. You know how like Canelo waited out Triple G?
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's still reversed. You know what I mean? Like Benavidez is going to get better as Canelo's on the downhill. You know, he's on the downslope.
And the only caveat is just if Benavidez can still make 168. If he's like, the longer it takes, it's going to be harder for him to make the 168, in my opinion. So that's one caveat going towards his side.
And you remember Canelo, it's not above Canelo to do the weight bully thing where he can make you come down to a certain weight. We call the Canelo weight back in the day.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me to get any edge. He's the champion. He'll, who
Hope
knows?
not. I
Who
hope you're wrong.
knows? But I would be shocked if he fought David Benavidez. I really would. I
Yeah.
don't think that fight's happening. Yeah. I mean, like I said, again, man, I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to see him fight Munguia. I mean, that's a crazy, stupid fight, man.
Yeah.
I
don't want to see
but,
it. I'm tired of these predictable outcome type fights. Really.
Yeah. And you know what the outcome is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
There's no surprises there.
No, none. Let's talk about Jose Valenzuela and Chris Colbert. Valenzuela put Colbert out. And when I say out, I mean out cold, son, with one of the most vicious shots you're likely to see. It looked like Beeb was a right hook. Am I wrong?
It was exactly a right hook. It was a picture perfect right hook.
He just popped him and he just collapsed right on that bottom rope. And I said, oh man, when he hit that bottom rope, I was concerned, man, because I'm like, you're hitting it the side, your neck, everything like that. The ref really did a great job. If you notice, if you watch him, as soon as he hit the deck, he waved the fight off and he goes over. He was super careful not to move, and he put pressure on that rope. So there was no pressure on the neck or whatever. He put pressure on the rope, called the guys, called everybody in, called the medics in and everything like that, let them handle it. But that referee did a great job. He really did, man.
And I thought Valenzuela clearly won the first fight. I think I had it like 7 rounds to 3. And I was shocked that Chris Colbert got the decision in that fight. And the thing with Valenzuela is he's a big, strong guy, and he's got some pretty quick feet himself. And Colbert, tries to get away, and Valenzuela just keeps coming forward because Colbert's not a big puncher, and he doesn't have enough power to keep Valenzuela off him. And he'll take 1 or 2 of those shots from Colbert to land that big one himself.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty accurate, precise puncher too. He's got great timing. And you saw how he perfectly timed and placed that right hook. He saw Colbert try to dip to that one side to get out of to get out of the corner. And before he got to that spot that he wanted to get to, he was met with that right hook. And so he actually leaned kind of into it, which made it worse for him. Right. Yep. So yeah, you could just tell, and I just noticed and saw throughout the first fight as well, going into this fight, that Colbert just could not keep Rayo off him. He just didn't have the firepower to do it, not the physical strength either. And Rayo just walked him down and walked right through him. And I thought that Colbert would be cagey enough to go the full 12, but he wasn't. He wasn't. I didn't expect Rayo to get him out of there with one shot like that. I thought he would just outwork him and kind of beat him down throughout the course of 12 and end up getting the decision. This time the scoring was accurate, I felt. And he was well on his way to getting a decision in this fight, but that one shot put the lights out, and that's all she wrote.
That was it, man.
Not much you can say about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was good, man. That was a picture perfect knockout. Picture perfect, man. You can't get it any better than that.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with the third match here, Robert Guerrero and Andre Berto. First of all, I don't understand, again, I'll say it again, I don't understand why this fight took place.
Yeah.
Nothing is on the line here. Neither one of these guys are going to get back. Their careers ended years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. Andre Berto's career was over before he fought Floyd.
Yes.
Okay. He was way over with. Because everybody made fun of Floyd for saying Andre Berto's name. He's going to do him for the 49th or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because we knew Andre Berto was washed then, and now he's still washed. And so is Guerrero. He's been through too many wars. What are you guys doing? Why would this fight even be, number one, sanctioned? Why would you put this on?
I don't know. It's kind of like a nostalgia type, swan song type fight for the last fight on show. I don't know. I'm trying to play promoter here, and even I can't come up with anything.
But now listen now. I'll tell you what, listen. This was a better end card than HBO, the crap HBO put on their last card. least we could say that. It was pretty good. You had 2 knockouts on there. It was okay. It was okay. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Let's talk about the big one, man. DAZN. This was the big one. Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards, flyweight unification fight. Bam Rodriguez wins by TKO over Sonny Edwards in the 9th round. Bam caught him with a counter left right down the middle. I mean, that was a picture perfect shot.
Yeah.
That was right there, man. Just dropped him.
You and I, D-Style in the chat was another one. A
Yep.
lot of us, we're not clairvoyants, right? We're not fortune tellers. We can't see into the future. None of us can do that. If we could, we'd all be like multimillionaires, and we'd be shutting down Vegas. But the 3 of us really knew how this fight was going to go. Like
we
all
said
of
it
us,
last week. You've been saying it all week.
We pretty much called it to a T.
Yeah.
And we were getting a lot of, I was getting a lot of heat. I don't know what you guys were. Oh, you're just hating on Sonny. You don't like Sonny. Oh, you're underrating him. You're not giving him credit. And I just never thought this was going to be a competitive fight. And people made so much about Sonny's defense and his footwork. And I kept saying, this guy is not Pernell Whitaker. This guy is not Willie Pep. Again, that doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. That doesn't mean I'm hating on him. That doesn't mean arguably he's still not the second best, or at the very least, the top 3 in the division. But I just never thought he was what a lot of you guys and a lot of people said he was. Bam Rodriguez, I said, had the quicker feet, right? I said he had the better footwork. Oh, well, Sonny's got great footwork. Why? Because he moves more, but Bam is more efficient with his footwork. Bam had a 7-inch reach. So when Sonny has to take 2 steps backward, Bam only has to take a half step forward, and he's going to land that jolting jab on Sonny's face. So Sonny, when he's trying to, get in through the entry point, he's being met with that jab before he can ever get his feet in position, because he has to deal with the quickness of Bam, the quickness of the feet, because Bam, again, knows how to move and set his feet quick and pop. And he does it so effortlessly, and he does it so, so effortlessly, so easily. And he's just really efficient in what he does, right? There's a lot of subtleties to what Bam does. He doesn't have all that flash and the showboating that Sonny has. He's a meat and potatoes, all business type of guy, right? And he has the more subtle footwork, right? He has not excessive movement, but he moves just enough to put himself in position, and just enough to be able to turn with you and face you and never let you out of his sights. So then the narrative is this. Now, and again, shout out to Al Bernstein, because during the send-off, he said something that was very poignant, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. He says, to our credit, we just called the fights and we never fed into narratives. But DAZN cannot say the same for themselves, because there's always been this narrative. Oh, well, particularly last night, well, Sonny got the tactics wrong. No, he didn't get the tactics wrong. This is one of those fights where you take the chalkboard, right, with the X's and O's on it, right?
Yep.
And you throw it out the window, because there's no way, again, this is no disrespect to him, there's no way he's beating Bam, because he doesn't have the ability and the quickness and the power to outmaneuver Bam. And I was saying this on Thursday, and people just didn't want to hear it, because, again, you got a guy who's throwing a rangefinder jab, and he just continues to throw it, tries to be pesky with it, right? Occasionally he'll throw a hard right hand behind it. And then you got Bam, who is throwing a jolting telephone pole-like jab, and he's got the reach advantage. He's getting off first. And then on the rare occasions when Sonny's jab was landing, right, Bam had his chin tucked. He was bracing for it. And as soon as Sonny landed, Bam would come back with his own jab, but he would jolt Sonny with his jab, while Bam was kind of just rolling and partially blocking, and a few of them got through, but they were not hard enough to stop Bam's forward momentum. So this whole thing about Sonny being Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, I just never bought into that. And I thought Bam was an all-around better fighter. I thought he could beat him on the outside because of the reach. I thought he could beat him on the inside because he's a more fluid, precise combination puncher up close. And because he has such good footwork, not because he moves a lot, but because he has the subtle movement and he moves efficiently. That's the key word, efficiently. When you see these guys running around the ring, circling the ring, dipping and dot, like, trying to showboat. They got their hands down by their waist, and they don't have the ability to stand in the pocket and slip and slide, make themselves a compact target. They're not really good at parrying shots where their legs are their main weapon and main tool to carry them out of danger, right? Then once you're in there with a guy who can keep up with you in the foot speed department, once you're in there with a guy who can beat you to the spot, right? Who can pivot with you and constantly be in front of you when you try to pivot away. And he got another, and he can punch on top of that, and he's quicker than you on top of that, and he's got a 7-inch reach on top of it. How does he beat this guy unless he brings a baseball bat in the ring? And I'm not being hard on him. I'm not like these other guys. He's still a good fighter. I'm not going to throw him in the trash bin like everyone did to Demetrius Andrade. We don't do that on this show. But what we do is we tell the truth, right? And we don't have this narrative that when Sonny was getting caught on the ropes in other fights, oh, well, he's just, he's just not fighting his fight right now. He's complacent. Oh, he got the tactics wrong. There were no tactics last night that were going to work because he was outgunned. He was outsped. He had deficiencies in speed, power. There was no advantage that he had in this fight that was going to carry him to victory. And I'm sorry, you guys, you UK guys, you want to get behind your guys. I get it. But we got to tell the truth here. We can't spin these narratives when he's getting caught on the ropes. Oh, well, he's complacent. He's not fighting his fight. He's going away from the tactics. Oh, he's choosing to do that. No. He's being forced up against the ropes. He's moving so much, using so much energy and having to evade so much because his primary defense is the legs. You can't do that for 12 rounds. You're gonna slow down. And he was able to get away with that in other fights because the guys did not have the ability and the foot speed to apply that steady pressure that Bam was able to do last night.
Yeah. Thank you so much, D-Style. He said Sonny had been knocked down twice before. The zone commentators got it wrong first time in his career, quote. And let me give you another number. We talked about this beforehand. 100 more shots landed by Bam Rodriguez over Sonny. 100. They threw roughly the same amount. 100 more shots landed for Bam Rodriguez. So there you go, man. And would you say that Bam landed 60% of his power shots?
Yeah.
Insane.
And even if you want to argue that Sonny's still number 2, because I still think he would have a good shot to beat Julio Cesar Martinez, because Julio Cesar Martinez is smaller than Bam. I don't think he hits as hard as Bam. He's definitely not as quick as Bam, and he's not as efficient and effective with the jab like Bam is. And he doesn't have that 67-inch reach like Bam has. He's more along the lines of a 63, 64-inch reach. That's a more winnable fight for Sonny. And Sonny's talking about going down to 108. That would be a horrific move to go down to 108 when you're already having problems making 112. Go after Julio Cesar Martinez, right? And you could still be the number 1 guy in this division because Bam's going to move up to 115 and he's going to fight Gallo. He's going to fight Estrada. So don't go down to 108. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, obviously I'm not a manager and you give a shit what I say, but don't go down to 108. Don't go down to 108.
Somebody in the chat says, well, Bam's not a generational talent. Anyway would kill that guy. Anyway would beat him. Anyway's 10 pounds heavier, guys. Not to
Inoue
mention he's
is
like
at
3 division,
122.
and he's moving up too.
He's at 122, and he's eventually going to probably go to 126.
Right. So yeah, I mean, come on, man. That's like, he's way out. And when you're that small, like those 112 and 115 weight classes, they put those there for a reason because they make a huge difference.
Yeah,
Those
so
weight classes are there for reasons, man.
I think Sonny should fight Julio Cesar Martinez next. And I think, Bam's already indicated that he's going to go up to 115.
It'll be interesting to see if he does fight Martinez, how he looks after this, because he was, he was roughed up in here, man.
Maybe damaged. He said he broke his orbital bone.
Yeah. Like, I mean, both his eyes were messed up. His face was a mess. Yeah. He's a tough guy. Listen, man, he's a tough guy. But yeah, man, it didn't matter which version of Sonny Edwards showed up, he was losing that fight. Yeah. 100 times out of 100.
There's no way he outboxes Bam because, again, the reach. He moves 2 steps back. Bam takes a half step forward. He's in range to land that poleaxe jab against him. You're not going to outmuscle him on the inside. You're not going to outmaneuver him and outspeed him with your footwork because Bam's quicker on his feet than you are. And again, I think he's in that fight. He showed that he had superior footwork because you could not get away from him.
He's a different fighter. He is a different kind of fighter. You know how you look at guys and you say there's champions and there's upper echelon guys. This guy's different.
And then you listen to commentators like I was listening to Gareth Davis with all due respect. Oh, well, he got the tactics wrong. He's usually going in and out. You can't go in and out, Gareth. When you're
7-inch reach.
You can't go in and out, right? When you're trying to come in and you're getting fucking stifled with a poleaxe jab. He's poleaxing you with the jab on the way in. And on the way out, you take 2 steps back. He's catching you on the way out with the jab. And each jab that he's landing is stunning you. It's jolting you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't. At one point during the post-fight interview, he said, I tried to move, but I couldn't get away from his jab because he had a great jab. It was accurate and it was sharp, and he had quick feet. So if you're going to try to evade the guy and you can't outmaneuver the guy, then your only course of action is to try to stand and fight him off you. You're going to have more success at least trying to stand and fight him off you because when you're moving away and trying to move forward, he's hitting you, right? So what do you do at that point? Might as well, if the movement's not working, then you might as well stand there and try to make something happen. That's what he did. He could not move, Gareth, because every time he tried to go in and out, Bam was there to cut him off at the pass. This was not bad tactics. This was the only tactics available that you were allowed to use because of Bam, his ability. Yeah. I hate it when we just like the downloading the data thing and the Lomachenko fights. It's like, no, what about the jab that was in his face that Tio was hitting him with all night long and the right hand over the top? No one wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to give away rounds. No one willingly gives up their advantage. No one willingly gives up rounds, and no one willingly gives up their advantage. No one willingly fights outside of their comfort zone in a style that they don't want to fight in. No one does that willingly. They're usually forced to do that because they're running out of options or they're not able to do what they want to do because their opponent is not letting them. We got to stop with this bullshit. Oh, he's laying on the ropes. No, he's tired because he's running around the ring. He's using too much movement. If you cannot parry shots and slip shots and dip and duck and have upper body movement and be able to evade shots by bending at the waist and having good head movement and being able to roll shots. If you can't do those things and you're using your legs overtime just to get out of the way of shots, guess what? You're going to get tired.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, and talk about, and you remember when last week, and I said about this fight in particular, that I was shocked, just like shocked that it wasn't in England. That was a fight to put in England because if Sonny Edwards was going to have a chance, which he wouldn't have had a chance in England either, but I thought it would have been a bigger fight in England. I mean, I'm sure it was a big fight last night, but I mean, I thought it would have been a bigger fight in England, bigger draw. I thought Bam would have got a little bit more money for it. Both of them probably would have got paid more. I don't know, but
yeah,
that's why I thought the fight should have been in England. Because I said, now that the fight, was what was it, Arizona last night?
Arizona was in Phoenix. Yeah.
I know he wasn't. There was no way Sonny Edwards was walking out of there with titles. No way.
And again, this is not. We're not hating on Sonny Edwards. We're just evaluating, what we think of both men and how they match up against each other.
Yeah. Now I want you to talk about this because, again, we said this last week, but you have been saying it. D-Style has been saying it all week. You've been saying it all week. Talk about Corey. Talk about Corey Lee. Talk about your bet.
So we got to give Corey Lee credit.
I told you guys over and over. Let me just say this real quick, Beef. I told you guys over and over. You want to get paid, you listen to this guy over here. I'm telling you, this is the guy. He gets you paid. Beef, let it go. Tell him what's up.
Well, I had meetings all week with people, right? I've been talking to D-Style. I've been talking to Corey. Corey calls me and says, yeah, I'm going to put some money on Bam, right? So he puts some money on Bam to win by knockout. But then he finds out that I also put money on Bam to win by knockout. So this motherfucker just doubles down here, man. He doubles down and he ends up winning $1,900 last night. Like, so this guy, this is Christmas shopping. He's going to be able to take the wife out to dinner. I mean, $1,900 is no joke. I'm not going to charge him a finder's fee. I mean, I did it.
You probably should. You probably should.
I mean, he already bet the knockout proposition, but because I co-signed it, he doubled down on it. He doubled down on it. So I'm going to waive my finder's fee because I love Corey Lee.
Yeah.
And all you haters in the chat that want to call Corey Lee a Monday morning quarterback and say that, he's not putting himself out there with these picks and he's waiting till Sunday morning to make these picks. Trust me, I got the screenshots.
At least this time. Has
his address on the top, so I know it's him.
His address.
I know. So not his address, but he has his local, his state.
You're gonna see it. It's gonna be like you can see it photoshopped out.
Oh no. So this is legit. So all you haters in the chat that want to throw shade at Corey Lee, right? He puts his balls on the table, man, and he makes the actual bets while you guys are in the chat just making your friggin' Monday morning picks, and then you want to come in here on Sunday and say, oh, well, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Meanwhile, all you guys are just sitting on the sidelines. Guys like Corey Lee and myself and D-Style, we're in the game. We're in the game. You guys were on the sidelines. We're in the game.
That's it. There's a big difference, man. There's a big difference. Big difference, man. All right. Let's see here. Unify beat Rocco Santamaro. Unify wins by unanimous decision over Santamaro. Notable because, Unify is a, gold medalist. It's coming up. He looks pretty good. Looks promising. We'll see how he does, but he does look promising. All right. Now, that was a good fight. Okay, the Bam, we knew that was going to be good. We knew the Bam Rodriguez fight. DAZN did a good job putting that on. Wouldn't have paid for it, but it was a good fight. It was a solid fight. Okay, we were all looking forward to it. However, Jake Paul versus Andre August. Yeah, not so much here. Jake Paul wins in a first-round knockout. He shot an outside uppercut. If you guys watch this, I mean, it was a weird – I was always saying you never throw an uppercut from the outside. You know what I mean? You just don't.
Yeah.
You just never throw one from the outside because you leave yourself wide open. This guy, the guy that he fought was supposed to be 10-1. He didn't look great. And I guess we can't really tell much because he got hit with that outside uppercut. B, any thoughts on this?
Again, I don't want to be a hater. It was a hard shot, right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
That shot does not land on a top 10 cruiserweight.
No,
you're not going to be able to throw that shot from the outside like that against a top 10 cruiserweight.
Does anybody get hit with that shot from the outside?
You just don't. I don't even think you can hit. I don't even
think
all
you can
night
hit. He was leaning. He was leaning forward.
I don't even think you can hit Ringside Robert with that shot.
Yeah, right. I mean,
even
really.
even Ringside Robert can slip that one. Even old ass uncoordinated Jerry would probably be able to slip that uppercut, man.
Oh, let's not get crazy.
He probably wouldn't be able to do it. That guy's so out of shape.
RL67, he said, Eric, if you don't have the zone, how do you watch the fight? You're reacting based on clips and not the whole fight. You have no idea how I watch the fights.
Let's not be overly
when
assuming.
I watch the fights, how I watch the fights, who I watch the fights with. Stop it. Stop it. Just know that I saw the fight. I saw the fight. Isn't Ringside partially blind? Not me. Not me. Robert. Ringside Robert is partially blind. Yes.
Doesn't matter. He could still slip it, man. He's like
legally blind. Yeah, I believe he's legally
He's
blind.
like Daredevil. His other senses are enhanced.
Larry Listen said, Jake is a modern day Houdini. Real or fake? I salute him for convincing the public he's a legit fighter. Okay, so Beeb, I'm only asking. Yeah, that's it. But no, I do watch the fights. And I obviously I see highlights too, but I do watch the entire fights. They're out there. Believe it or not, they're out there. I don't watch them live. I don't watch them real time, but yeah, let's get into this. Yeah. So D-Style, thank you so much, my friend. He said, can Jake be a top 25 though? That would still be impressive in my opinion.
He could be top 25, but I don't think he could be top 10. Could he even be top 25 or no, Eric? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think he could be top 25. I think he could be in the 25. I think he's got enough experience. I think he's got enough, under his belt, because he trains. That's the one thing you can't take away from him, man. I mean, he does train. But that being said, he's athletic. He trains very well, but I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Both the brothers are athletes. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Yeah, complete athletes. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, man. I think he can be top 25, but I don't know who he beats though. You know what I mean? Because you're putting him in guys with like this guy right here. You can tell when this guy got in the ring and started boxing. Like,
they're gonna find a way to get him a title shot. He'll fight like Makabu when he's like 60, and he'll get a title shot. For a vacant
he's
title.
Going to fight. You know where he's going to fight in Bridgerweight. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go to that Bridgerweight division.
He'll find a way to get this guy a title.
People putting more pressure on Jake Paul to step up rather than Richard Torres, though. Yeah, Jake, I would love to see Jake Paul step up his competition. And you know what? But to his credit, he has. Because I'll tell you why. Because Andre August is a legit fighter. He's 10-1. He's had 10 pro fights. I get it. I get it.
In fairness,
he has. I would take Andre August over Nate Robinson or whoever it was that he KO'd or whatever.
Correct.
Or over who's that other fool from MMA? Ben Askren.
In fairness, I don't even think this is disputable. The guy, Andre August, has more experience than Jake Paul in boxing.
He does. Absolutely does. Absolutely. Undisputed. Tony Yayo said, did Canelo ever fight Makabu? No. No, he did not.
No, he did not.
Spirit of Justice says the cruiserweight division is pretty weak. I said a long time ago we should abolish the cruiserweight division because nothing goes on there. Nothing.
Ever since Usyk left, it's been kind of a bit. Well, I like Jai Opataya, the Australian guy. He's good.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
MEZ Box says August is not legit. August is legit. Listen,
legit.
let's face it. Could any one of us beat August?
No.
I'm not beating him. Beeb's not beating him.
I'll tell you
Montero's
one guy. No, Montero can beat him. Come on. Give Montero credit.
He's not beating Andre.
Did Montero
August.
send you a Christmas card this year?
He did. He absolutely
did. You see that picture? Did you see that picture on the Christmas card? Montero looks like a superhero on that Christmas card.
He does, doesn't he?
He looks like a fucking superhero, man.
I hate Montero, man.
I'm a big Montero fan. All these guys.
Oh, you're a big Montero fan now. You're whatever. When you were sitting there, just bad mouth. Just put the poor mouth all over
Montero. I'm a huge Montero fan.
All over Montero.
Huge Montero fan.
Talking about he's dropping his left hand. He's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, he's dropping his left hand through people's faces.
Said his jab couldn't break eggs. You
don't think Montero beats Andre August?
Andre August is, again, man, I'll say it again for the people in the back, man. Andre August is 10, 11, 12 pro fights now. 12 pro fights.
Montero's got 2 pro fights. He's right there.
Does he have 2 pro fights? I thought he only had 1.
Does he have 2 or 1?
I think he has 1. I think he has
Sure,
1.
it's only 1?
I thought so.
I think Montero can win a decision in that fight. I'm just being honest.
I will say this. I will say this. That Montero, if Andre August beats him, he doesn't do it easily. I will say that Montero is in there to fight.
Oh, now you want to try to walk it back, because you know.
I will tell you this, but I will tell you, how many rounds was that fight with Montero? How many rounds was it? 6 rounds?
I think it was a 6-rounder.
It was 4 or 6 rounds.
No, I think it was a 4. I think it was a 4-rounder.
Because that was his first fight.
His first fight.
And August has been he's been in 8-rounders, hasn't he? I believe he has. 6 or 8 rounders.
No, this was his first 8-rounder. He was coming up from 6s.
Maybe Montero does beat him. I don't know, man.
One's in the chat if Montero beats Andre August. One's in the chat if Montero beats Andre. I'm too lazy to put a poll up right now.
I know, right? Listen, I love Montero, man. Yeah, I did get his Christmas card. Beautiful family, man. Beautiful family. Beautiful family, man. And but he talks about it. He talks about wanting to fight again. I know he's got that bug to fight again, man. But I don't know. Listen, man, that guy can do anything he wants. Robert is texting me right now. The blog talk. Just call in, Robert. If you're listening, just call in. What number do you use? You use the normal number. What do you think you're going to call in on my number? No, just call in on the blog talk. Why is it so difficult?
Just call in the blog talk, Robert, for Christ's sakes.
A guy with a losing record and no knockouts, knocked out August.
I'm telling you, Montero wins a decision in that fight. I'm just being honest.
Nando Yama says, who is Mike Montero? Mike Montero is a friend of ours, friend of the show. He does boxing podcast just like we do. Montero on boxing.
Fuck is Mike Montero? What is that? You don't even know who Mike Montero is?
I agree.
Jesus Christ. I don't know who Mike Montero is.
Oh, man. Unreal. All right, let's talk about the upcoming fights here. Because we're coming. Beeb, next week is Christmas. How about that?
Right around
next Sunday, Christmas Eve, right? All right, let's see what we got. December 23rd, Saturday in Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia. On what, Beeb? DAZN pay-per-view?
Yes.
Or is this ESPN?
No, it's DAZN.
All right. Nando says he only subscribes to a few YouTube channels. Well, we hope you subscribe to this one, man. We appreciate you. There you go. All right. Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin, 12 rounds heavyweights. Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, 12 rounds heavyweights. Dimitri Bivol on that card as well against Lyndon Arthur for Bivol's WBA light heavyweight title. Philippe Hrgovic versus Mark Demori, 12 rounds heavyweights. That guy that quit for his eye, I guess his eye was messed up. Or is that Daniel Dubois against the other guy who was just run out of boxing period for using steroids? Jarrell Big Baby. I'm not even going to call him Big Baby. There's only one Big Baby. That's Big Baby Anderson.
He was at the buffet, man, this week. He was at the buffet in Saudi this week, man. You see him bulking up?
He's a functional 300.
He'd be a functional 330, man.
Moron. That was the dumbest thing I think you've ever said. A functional 330.
Functional 330. You guys don't want to accept it.
A functional 330.
This guy's the most functional This guy's the most functional 330 you're ever going to see.
Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller. Frank Sanchez versus Junior Fa. Jai Opatai versus Ellis Zorro. I mean, this card, listen, man, this card is stacked. It's a good card. I think we know which way it's, Beeb, it's like this, man. Like, you look at this card and they're all decent fights. We know who the favorites are. We know which way we think it's going to go. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and watch this one, man. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the money down and watch this one. What are you? It's $40.
I'm just curious to see how Wilder's. Yeah, it's $40. I'm just curious to see how Wilder's going to look off after the long layoff. And I'm this Otto Wallen fight, I think, is going to be a very interesting fight.
That could be a dangerous fight. Wallen is no pushover, man. Wallen can fight. And Tyson Fury was able to outbox him after that second round. And I'll be real curious to see how Joshua handles him. This could be tricky for him. Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker, that's a good fight. I think that's a really good fight. I think that, in fact, Aaron Daly said Parker will beat AJ. Aaron Daly, I think, said Sonny Edwards was going to win too, so take it with a grain of salt. I think that's an interesting fight. I think the Parker fight, if Deontay cannot catch him with that right hand, that's an interesting fight. That's a very interesting fight. Not to mention because you got the layoff. You got that long layoff, right? That's an interesting fight. Bivol, Lyndon Arthur, that's a good fight. Dubois, Jarrell Miller, that's a fun fight. Yeah, man. I mean, it's Frank Sanchez Jr. fight. That's going to be a good fight. Like I said, man, we got a lot of good fights on there. I like the card. I think this is a good way to round out 2023. In 2023, honestly, has been like the best year of fighting. We got every matchup we could possibly want, just about every matchup we could possibly want. You know, no more pining for Spence and Crawford. I mean, Tank and Garcia fought. I mean, it's probably one of the best years on record, at least in recent memory anyway, of us getting everything we wanted. So, hey, man, and this going out, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So there you go. December 26th. This is in Tokyo. The final fight of the year, I believe, televised anyway, according to the schedule. Naoya Inoue. This will be on ESPN Plus, and this is going to be a morning special, probably around 7 or 5 in the morning, probably prelims, and then 7 in the morning, it's going to get started. Naoya Inoue versus Marlon Tapales, 12 rounds for Inoue's WBC and WBO junior featherweight titles, and Marlon Tapales' IBF and WBA junior featherweight titles. All the marbles, baby, undisputed. I mean, what else can we do? 2023, man.
Monster year, man.
Best year in boxing. Best year in boxing, man. There you go. There you go. All right, Robert's finally online. Robert, 530, you're live. And then again, maybe he's not. I guess we're having problems with Blog Talk again because Blog Talk sucks. It sucks almost as much as Jerry Tasker does. But hey, that's another story. What are you going to do? All right. So, and that's it for the new year. So there you go. Beeb, so let's talk, before we go to news and rumors, let's talk about next week real quick. Next week is Christmas Eve. That'll be Sunday. But we do have that big heavyweight card. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to, I was, we always celebrate on Christmas Eve. But
let's do it. Let's do the show in the morning.
I was going to say that. Let's do the show at noon. Our UK special. We'll do it like as a Christmas present to the UK people.
We'll do it like want to do it at 11 a.m. Christmas Eve? Or is 11 a.m. or you want to do it at noon? It's up to you.
Let's do 11. Let's do 11.
Do 11. That way we can enjoy.
Let's do 11 on Sunday. Yeah, right. 11 on Sunday. That's what we'll do. That's it. All right. So catch us next week at 11 a.m. Sunday.
That'll be the time.
There you go. See, we don't even take Christmas off. Give it to you guys raw, man. Every year. We're doing Christmas shows. Holidays don't stop us.
My sister's making these raviolis for supper on Christmas Eve, man, with these chicken cutlets. It's going to be a great.
You can't miss that, man.
I love that.
She makes the ravioli from scratch?
From scratch, man.
Oh, wow.
These are beautiful raviolis, man.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited.
All right. Aaron Daly's going to be there. He said noon special would be fantastic. There you go.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. though. 11 a.m. So you can catch us then. All right, let's talk about our news and rumors here. Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, Beeb, is set for March. Well, that's the word.
That's the rumor, but now they're saying that it's not.
No.
It's not.
This is not my guy. My guy, says it's a lock. Former heavyweight champions Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder have a deal in place. March 9th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The sides agreed on the money, sources said, but they both must come out victorious and uninjured in separate bouts on December 23rd. To finalize they're going to finalize it or whatever. But Mike Coppinger has said, and Mike Coppinger is like law. Whenever he says, it happens, Beeb. You, Mr. Little Faith, called Tank Garcia. Who called that? Cop. Spence and Crawford. Who called it? Cop. Beeb, you've called him Coppinger. Give him his due.
I'm hoping he's right, man. I'm not going to root against him on this one.
I'm hoping he's right, too. That's a good fight. That's a fun fight, man.
I'm not even going to diss him because I want him to be right this time.
We don't even need.
Sorry, could you say that again?
An Apple Watch. There you go. Do you ever do that? You have an Apple Watch?
I have Google Voice, and my phone does that.
So mine does this all the time. Like you're talking, all of a sudden she just answers a question. I'm like, I wasn't even talking to you. You video moron. What are you doing? All right. Let's see here. All right, Beeb, this was interesting. This was interesting because I saw a video and all this nonsense from our favorite person, Clarissa Shields. So let me give you the backstory on this. Clarissa Shields did a video. I guess she came out and did a video and said that some guy that she was sparring took padding out of his gloves and knocked her down. It looked like he knocked her out. All right. Listen, from the naked eye, it didn't look like anything wrong with those gloves. Well, the guy put out, because I guess she was sparring men and whatever. What's the problem? I don't understand. Maybe you can let me know this here. You've been beat up in sparring before?
Yes.
I've been beat up in sparring before.
I'm proud to say it, but yes.
Pretty regularly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We've both been beat up and, worked over in sparring.
Correct.
What's the problem? What is the problem? I mean, it happens to everybody. It is sparring. It is practice. And it happens to literally everyone who walks in a gym.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're so special that it can't happen to you?
Yeah, we talked about this on Thursday too. I just don't think that she should be fighting men ever. I'm not a big fan of women sparring with men.
Well, look, man,
because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because if you go easy on the girl, then people are going to start saying, "Oh, look at you! Look, you suck. You can't even hang with this woman." Then if you hurt the girl, then you're a bully. It's a no-win situation. It's
a no-win situation. You're right. But some girls like to spar with guys. I get that. Okay, that's fine. But when you get clipped, just own it. I don't see any video of that guy getting knocked out by you.
Yeah.
By Shields. You know what I mean?
No.
So what's the problem? I don't understand. And she goes on this big, video tirade about how the guy took padding out of his gloves. Why? You think the guy, let me understand this. So he's sparring a girl and you think he takes padding out of the gloves.
This is going to be, Deontay Wilder set a precedent. Now this is going to be the new thing. This is going to be the new thing now. Anytime someone's gets knocked out and they're embarrassed by it, they're going to say that the person took the padding out of the gloves.
She admitted trying to stab the trainer? Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about this. I didn't hear this.
So she, after the incident happened and she kind of woke up, she said she
was out cold too. He hit her with a picture perfect left hook, man.
Yeah, he did. So she ran out to her car, said she's going to get a knife and stab him because she was embarrassed. And she talks about it on camera, bragging about that, like kind of copping to it, like she was going to do it. It's embarrassing.
That's insane. She's just insane. Like, really. I mean, again, a guy catches you. What's the shame in that? What's the shame in even getting caught in sparring? You know what I mean? Like, come on. This is why nobody likes her. This is why she is such an unlikable
We try to like her.
personality.
We try to like her, but she just keeps doing things that
Yeah.
make us not like her.
Yeah.
So she won't allow us to like her.
No. Again, man, she's just one of those. She's just an unlikable person, which explains why she's not more popular.
Yeah.
Just not.
Why
Man.
and why Katie Taylor is.
You look at both of those fighters. Clarissa should be miles more popular than Katie Taylor.
Based off of compliments, sure.
Yeah.
Based off of compliments, yeah.
That's what it was. And I heard about this too. Larry Liston hit it on the head. He said, you guys don't get it. She had a heavy costume on before sparring.
It's crazy.
D-Style says she's threatening to sue whoever shares the video.
Clarissa Shields versus Twitter.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk to people, like especially like celebrity type people, and you can tell like who takes themselves like way too seriously and who's just like a good, just a down to earth person. She's one of those people that take herself way too seriously. Too seriously.
That's
Come
right.
on, man. And this one, last piece of news here. Roy Jones Jr. and Tommy Fury are in fight talks, Beeb. Say it ain't so.
I wish I could say it ain't so, but it is. They're taking pictures together. They've already been talking, and
Stop.
it'll probably happen.
Stop.
It'll probably happen.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
come on, man. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible. Yeah, apparently we're having phone issues here. So, call's going to go by the wayside tonight. Sorry about that. We should have it fixed next week. I say this all the time. I do say this all the time that we're going to get rid of Blog Talk. I think we got to do it now, right? I mean, I think we have options out there now. I think we got to get rid of this platform.
Yeah, we got to try and see if we can find something.
We got to bring in something new with 2024, right? Because this,
got to figure something out.
yeah, that's
You
it.
have to go. You have to go to the producers, go to the production team, see what we can come up with.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Our YouTube channel's at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can find me on X at ringside73, 11 a.m. Eastern time next week, next Sunday. There you go.
Sunday.
All right, guys, have a good one.